Hey, what's up, guys? I had a little night out last night and was doing a little hopping, and as it turns out, I blew a seal in my dump, and as I was driving down the street, one corner was slowly lowering, so caused a problem there. I can't actually drive my truck with one side down in the front because the tires rub the fender well. So anyway, so it gave me inspiration to do this video. It's basically when you blow a seal in your dump, or kind of to explain anytime that you've got something just like your dump or something, a cylinder just dropping slowly. So I'm going to be going into that. With this video, I'm going to show you specifically on mine that the O-ring in my dump has blown, and you can kind of see what it looks like, and if you're having the same problem, how to go about replacing this. So we'll go into some other stuff as far as, you know, having problems with your car just dumping, but this is you know, that's what my main focus is on this particular video, is changing out a dump seal. Okay, as you can see, there's some fluid that has dropped right there, and if you look at the dump right there, you can actually see the O-ring has pushed through, that it's blown so bad that it's pushed through. Now, like on the other dump, obviously it's not supposed to look like that, so that's what it looks like. Now, that doesn't mean that this is what you'll see if it's coming from your dump, but this is what mine did, so wanted to show you. So first step is you'll want to take your nut off. You'll probably need a tool to loosen it just a little bit. Take your nut off, take your dump off, and then you'll want to take something, a tool to loosen this up and spin it all the way out. Now with mine, it is a 7/8 wrench, and I noticed that as soon as I started to even try to turn it, that it was fairly loose. So apparently this might have been the real reason why it blew, is because it was loose to begin with. So when you're replacing this, you want to make sure that it's tightened down good. So this is what the dump looks like, or the dump post looks like when you pull it out. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but right here, mine has clearly blown and broken. So I'm gonna have to replace this. So when you go to get an O-ring, especially if you don't have one on hand, you want to make sure that you take your actual post with you, as well as the broken O-ring, and take it to the place. I would probably suggest, unless you can find the very specific size that goes to this, if it's even off just a little bit, it probably won't seal properly. So, but take this with you. If worst case, go ahead and get you 2 or 3 different sizes that are very close, possibly even slightly fatter, just to make sure that it seals. But make sure that you get the right one. Now, if you've taken this out, and another reason why it may be dumping improperly is that your dump, the way that it works, is it actually pushes down on this little nub right here, and then opens it up and allows fluid to go back through. So if that is messed up in any way, you might push on it just a little bit, see if it is acting the way that it should. It should bounce right back up. There's a spring inside, and it should bounce right back up. If not, you might have to figure that out. You've also got another seal right here. All right, so we went and gotten the O-ring, and we've got it back on there. Looks good. Gonna stick it back in. And this time I'm gonna make sure that it's nice and tight, which actually, before doing that, before tightening it down, you want to get a little bit of fluid and rub it around the ring, so it's got a little bit of a way to slide in there and lubricate it just a little bit. go ahead and tighten it down, put everything back on, and see if that fixes the leak. Alright, so we got it back in, tightened down. Slide our dump back on. Make sure that ground wire is in there good. Put the nut back on. Alright, so now we put it all back together, and we're going to test it out, make sure that the seal works.
Looks good to me.
Alright, so is it working?
It looks like it's working just fine.
Alright, so it appears to be holding just fine. We're going to take and leave the cylinder filled up for a little bit, make sure it's not dropping or anything like that. Try to clean it up a little bit, but it looks like it is holding just fine. A few other reasons why your car could be dropping. One could be a loose hose, obviously, to a fitting. You might check all your your connections on your cylinder, check to make sure that there's not a leak coming from the cylinder. Check to make sure that it's not a leak coming from a fitting on the top of the cylinder. You also want to check and see if it's coming from the actual bottom part of the cylinder itself. So if you notice, pretty much the easiest way to figure it out is trace where the fluid's coming from. If it's coming from the front, then obviously you know that's where it's coming from, and it's something up there. If it's something up there, then it's caused by one of three things pretty much: your hose, your fittings, or you have blown the seals inside of your cylinder, which I've got other videos to show you how to do that. Just if you've subscribed and shared and liked and everything, you can easily find the other videos that show how to do that. So that's if it's in the front. Sometimes I see that people will have their hoses ran a little too close to something. It'll pinch or burn or something like that, and that's where it's coming from. If that's the case, you got to replace the hose.